The Distinguished Service Award goes to an alumnus whose accomplishments and contributions have enhanced the School of Pharmacy and the profession of pharmacy at the local, state, national, or international level. Neal Franklin Fowler is a Raleigh native, a 1984 graduate of the School of Pharmacy. He's also a 1988 MBA graduate from the Kenan-Flagler Business School. Neal worked at Eli Lilly and Company from 1988 to 2001 in various positions. He began carrying the bag as a sales representative. He actually was my sales representative when I had a pharmacy in Sanford. He was working out of Fayetteville. Before moving to marketing, he then went to area operations, took a stint as a product manager, became director of the cardiovascular business unit. He finished his career with Lilly as an area director of the primary care division. Neal then moved to Johnson & Johnson as a VP of their CNS. Soon after, he became president of the Ortho McNeil Neurologic subsidiary. By 2008, he was president of J&J's Centocor subsidiary. In 2008, his desire to work with a company that was dedicated to new technologies, dedicated to healthcare, brought him to Liquidia Technologies as CEO. It brought him back to Tar Heel country and closer to his family. Liquidia specializes in nanotechnology approaches to improve health care. The technology allows for the development and commercialization of safer and more effective vaccines and inhalants. It can provide greater targeting for systemic release drugs, and they're making greater advances towards personalized medicine. Earlier this year, Liquidia received a $10 million investment from the Gates Foundation that could help the company discover a malaria vaccine for use in developing countries. Neal has also been deeply involved with the university. He is an immediate past member of the UNC Board of Visitors. He is on the Carolina Counts Initiative, whose mission is to make UNC at Chapel Hill the most collaborative, well-managed university in the country. He's on the Council for Entrepreneurial Development in RTP. He's on our board of visitors at the Eshelman School of Pharmacy. He's a member of Hayes-Barden Methodist Church. He sits on the board of pharmaceutical company Posen here in Research Triangle Park. He currently lives in Raleigh and has 3 children: Wilson, who's a sophomore at App State; Caroline is beginning her first year at Virginia Tech; Mary Maxon's with him tonight, and she's his last opportunity at a UNC degree.
Everybody still hard.
And his mother is here tonight also, Mary Ward. Thank you. So we present the award to Neal Fowler tonight. Chad, would you do the honors?
So I know I'm the last thing that stands between everybody in here and going home, and so it's. Oh, that's right. We do. Well, in that case, you were here for a while. No, I'm not going to do that to you. It's a real honor. It's kind of funny how this played out. Kevin, as you can tell, is a very close and dear friend of mine. He and I have enough stories about each other when we were undergrads here that we're on a mission to not tell anybody about things that went on. But Kevin calls me quite often, and it was my great fortune a couple of months ago. He called one day, and I said, "How are you doing?" And he informed me about this award I was going to win, and I was quite honestly just speechless. I never in any way set out to be standing up here tonight to receive this, but it's been a great honor to have Kevin in particular as a great friend present this to me. I don't have any formal speech, and, it was funny. I said, well, am I supposed to say something at an event like this? And the actual answer back was, well, talks are neither discouraged or encouraged. And I said, well, what does that mean? And, and I heard some horror stories about past speakers, and I heard some great stories about past speakers, so I didn't know what to do. But I do want to say a few things tonight. First off, it is indeed a tremendous honor for me to be up here. As Kevin said, I am a tremendous, tremendous fan of this university, and I had the great fortune, believe it or not, I would say this, to leave North Carolina for 20 years and be away. And it opened up my world in ways I can never put into words. But the great part about it is when you're away from the state of North Carolina, and I have 2 degrees from this university, it makes you appreciate times infinity what this place really is. This university has an unbelievable reputation. To the students that are in the room, I'm going to tell you that you have a first-class head start above so many people as you walk out of here. And don't underestimate that. It's a special place. President Ross was talking earlier tonight before dinner about how it's just, you can't put into words what a great place Chapel Hill is, too. People come back, and it's been my great thrill. I mean, after 20 years away, had the good fortune of meeting Joe DeSimone, who ironically spun out a company that now I have the good fortune of running on a day-to-day basis, and all of my ties are to Chapel Hill. It's just a really special place. And I do have a few words I want to say. I'm going to keep this as briefly and to the point as I can. All of us are Tar Heel basketball fans, or at least there could be a few traders in here, but I think all of us are Tar Heel basketball fans. And I'll be in front of classes. I try to teach on the side when I can. Sometimes I'll be asked to give a talk or whatever. And people say, well, where did you learn some of your management techniques and all that? And it's a funny thing to say, but it's really true. I learned probably more than anything from 3 people. One is my mom, who's right here. I was raised by a single mom who taught me the ropes about what it was like to be in the corporate world, too. She didn't even have a college degree and blew everybody else out of the water who did. And so I had a laboratory understanding right out of the gate as a kid. Second thing I'll say is Andy Griffith taught me a lot. I still to this day love watching a 30-minute, the black and white episodes are always better because Barney's on there, but his ability to deal with people taught me more about managing people than anybody, and I say if you have nothing to do on any day, watch 30 minutes of that a day and you'll learn everything you ever needed to know about people. But I also say the Carolina basketball connection is Dean Smith, and although I only had the good fortune of meeting him one time during his career, watching what he did to create what was arguably the greatest dynasty ever, it taught me a lot about business. And people will commonly say, well, why does sports teach you so much about running businesses? And I think what Dean Smith did with the basketball program in many, many ways, and I told his son, this Scott, who's a good friend of mine, he works with the business school here, this the other day, and I think it's indicative of what I want to say to this great pharmacy group of folks in this room tonight. It is about creating things out of great leadership. It's about creating things out of people. And it's about creating the next generation that comes along behind it. And I think that's what this pharmacy school has done for me. I get pulled a lot of different directions here at the university from having 2 degrees and being involved in a lot of things. But I'll first and foremost tell you that it all started for me at my days at Beard Hall. This was a long time ago. But Beard Hall was the beginning of what ended up being a lot of fun career for me. This pharmacy school program is just amazing, and it starts with leadership, and what Dean Bluen and the staff here have done has been nothing short of phenomenal to put us in the number 2 spot in the country, and I think that bodes well for all of you as students as you walk out of here. I want to say to the faculty, because I know there are a few of you in here, there are some great, unbelievable faculty at this institution, and I want to highlight a couple of examples. One is a professor who's no longer with us that many people will know the name, but Melvin Chambers. He changed my life forever. He was a professor here at the pharmacy school. I will tell you, I never in a million years, probably like a lot of students in here, thought I was going to be a pharmacist and count pills and do whatever pharmacists do when I walked into the doors at Beard Hall, but I never thought about business until I took an elective class in his course, and he single-handedly began to really open my mind to thinking about things beyond being a pharmacist. And so to the faculty, I will say never underestimate what you do on a day-to-day basis, because it can be a simple conversation as it was with Dr. Chambers that led me to take his course, that then led me to him to be a great mentor to me as I began to think about graduate school programs, and was a huge source of inspiration for me. So to the faculty, thank you for all that you do. and don't underestimate what you do on a day-to-day basis. I would say also to the students, very importantly, you have no idea what your degree does for you. Nikita was sitting with me at the table tonight, and we were talking about that, and I'm a big fan in the business world of saying always as you're looking at options, what's the worst thing that can happen? What's the worst case scenario? Here's the worst case scenario. You're going to walk out of here with a degree from, I think, the #1 pharmacy school program in the world. You're going to make a lot of money. Everybody's going to respect you, and that's your worst case scenario. Okay, that's a pretty good life already, and you just walked out of school. That is a great place to start, but what I would challenge you to do is to not just set your sights on that, because you have no idea what that degree does for you in terms of building a foundation for things you can do. And it's not to say that being a pharmacist is a bad thing. It's not to say go on and get an MBA and go into things like I did is a bad thing, but stretch yourself. I am a big fan. I tell my kids this, and Mary Maxon hears this too. You know, I'll always say, do the things that are going to provide you the most options. If you can't figure it out, just take the path that'll do that for you. And a pharmacy degree is unbelievable. It will open up critical thinking skills to you. It will open up business. It'll open up science. You can go any direction you want to go, and you can be 5 years out and completely change course. Joe DeSimone is very well known for saying this, but I can't remember your exact number of years, but he'll tell his students here at UNC that 10 years from now, 2/3 of you are going to be in jobs that don't even exist today. I can tell you, nanotechnology, nobody knew what that was when I was in pharmacy school, and here I am running a company. The foundational skill sets that you get here are just invaluable, and don't underestimate that. And the last thing I want to say, just in closing, is to the alums. Back to my Dean Smith analogy, if you kind of look at what happens there, you know, the students here are the players. We've got Dean Bluen, who's Dean Smith. And then the alums, think about the alums, the players that go away. I can't tell you. I used to think it was serendipity the way this worked, but, you know, one thing, Kevin, you didn't mention was, when I walked out of here, I went to work for Car Drugs, and I have a great table of cars right here in front of me. And the family, the Carolina family, was huge through my whole career. It started when I was at Wake Medical Center as an intern, and Carolina alums are teaching me everything about being a pharmacist. I went to Car Drugs. I learned everything I needed to know about customers and how to handle customers and how to be the best pharmacist I could be. I go back to business school, and I end up at Eli Lilly and Company, and Vaughn Bryson from UNC is the CEO. And although I didn't really know him at the time, there was a whole mafia of Lilly people there. Tab Waldrop's here tonight. He graduated with me, and Tab and I were working together at Lilly. I go to J&J, and I met several Carolina alums there. And everywhere you turn, it seems like there's a Carolina family around you, and they're always there to share that Chapel Hill experience and help you in what you do. So what I say to the alums is almost what I did to the faculty. Don't underestimate the impact you have, too, because the Carolina family's been with me everywhere I've gone, and I've never forgotten that. And I implore you to keep doing that as we go forward. So that's really all I wanted to say. I'm very honored to get this award. There's so many great recipients that have had it long before me, and there will be many to come. In some small way, I'd feel overwhelmed by that, but it's great to be here tonight. Thank you for all that you do, and I ask you to, as President Ross said, there's so many great things ahead for this university and institution in the School of Pharmacy, and let's do everything we can to make sure there's no doubt about this #1, #2 stuff, because let's make it #1. And I say on behalf of all the alums to the students, go out there and knock them dead, and if there's anything we can do for you, please let us know that. Thanks very much.